Hello. I've made a coffee this time. Oh, maybe me just climbing over the bed to the chair is like the tradition that we make on the vlog. Oh my god. Maybe it will mean that I eventually get more graceful at doing that. I don't know. Cheers. That's delicious. I can't believe there was a time in my life when I didn't love coffee. I don't remember it and I don't want to. Hi, I'm Sarah. I said in my last video that I would talk in this one about planning as a creative person. It's not lost on me the irony that my day job is in production, where all I do all day is make project plans for people. I have also always been the kind of person who left her homework to the last minute. There, to me, is nothing more motivating than a deadline. And so when I sit and think about how I'm going to achieve creative projects myself, I can't fathom how I'm going to get anything done without actually having a project plan in place. So at the start of this year, I sat down with my sparkly new notebook that I bought. It's not sparkly. I fell in love with the colours. I sat down with this and started to plan out the year month by month so that I could sit and look at January and be like, what am I going to get done? What time have I got? What do I need to get done? But I basically created spreads where I can plan my life on the left-hand side and commitments that I need to make during the day or in the evenings, and then plan my creative work on the right-hand side. Much like this. So for January, I started planning everything out and I started to get really overwhelmed. The first couple of things I had on that list, I immediately failed at because life got in the way. I got sick and then I got really down on myself because I wasn't doing what I really wanted to do, and I already wasn't hitting the plan that I was starting to make. And I say plan in loose terms because it really wasn't a thought through plan. So I shut the book and I went to therapy. I know it's a luxury to be able to go to therapy. It really helps me work through problems like this. I was discussing with my therapist how overwhelmed I felt by the idea of planning out the month, and also how boxed in as a creative I felt purely from the act of writing on a page exactly what it is I was going to do at the exact day, on the exact time, make this video then. It felt like shackles rather than comforting, like potentially it's done in the past. It felt really constricting. He turned around to me and said, why does it have to be that strict? And for some reason, this clicked over something in my brain. Now I get it. This is just the year of making. And rather than being specific about what I was going to make, I then started to just plan out when I was going to make things. Making PM, making AM, making all day, squeezing in alongside my life when I was going to get to prioritise the creative ambitions I have. That started to feel really helpful. And making could be anything. Today, for instance, I've had the whole day as a luxury of making, and it's in here as making all day. And what have I done? This morning, I have spent the morning mapping out my Dungeons & Dragons campaign that I am DM for, that we kick off tomorrow. I've sent a load of stuff to the printers. After I've filmed this, I'm going to go to the printers and pick that up. Then I'm filming this video, and when I get back from the printers, I'm going to edit this and get this online. And then I'm going to spend the evening finalising the session for tomorrow. That is me having made stuff all day. And I'll probably make a TikTok at some point today as well, because I'm really enjoying doing that. Having the flexibility to be able to just know when I've got the time and look at what I want to achieve within this month, and then prioritise my making time based on that and how I feel on a daily basis, I'm finding really helpful. What I needed alongside that, though, was an idea of not just what I wanted to complete within the next couple of weeks, but what I want to complete overall for the year. So within this notebook, I have a section called Overall Goals, where I literally did a brain dump for nearly 4 pages of just things that I want to do with my life and my time and creatively, shove it all down so we can see the lay of the land. This is where my producer, project manager brain comes into play. It's like, what are all the requirements of this year? Based on that goal dump, I hate the word dump, I then split them into career goals, personal goals, creative goals, intellectual goals, expanding my mind, material goals, things I want to earn or own, and then miscellaneous goals. Whimsy. And then what I did was actually start to plan this out quarterly. This is the kind of quarterly spread I make. Most people would go ahead, I completely understand, and map out the entire quarter based on the overall goals. What I've done, just to see how it feels, is map out January. And this comes back down to, how do I actually forge ahead and make work if I don't have any deadlines? This then becomes my deadline. Looking at January and going, okay, what did I actually want to get done in January? Have I achieved it? And if I haven't, how much longer have I got to be able to do these things? Let's look at a few of these things. Plan and conduct my first D&D session for Greyhaven. Greyhaven is the world that I've created for our Victoriana, kind of steampunk inspired Dungeons & Dragons campaign. Knowing that this is something that has an actual deadline on it for tomorrow and that we're kicking off this month was an easy win for me for January. Get the YouTube channel back up and running. I'm making this video. I want you to have something to watch tomorrow. I want to be consistent about getting a video up a week. So planning that into my schedule has to be a priority to hit the Sunday deadline. Apply to a particular comedy festival for my improv comedy team. I've done that so I can actually begin to start ticking these things off the list. We're about halfway through January. There are still things I need to do. It is now only down to me whether I make this happen or not. I also am very aware that you kind of need to give yourself grace with some of these things. Sometimes life gets in the way. January currently very busy with other kind of social bits and pieces here that mean that I maybe don't have as much time in January as I need to be able to complete some of these. And some of them will carry over to February. It's down to me to make those goals more achievable and to prioritise the time. I think one of the things living in London and having a social life in London, being single here, having great groups of friends and hobbies that I love, is that there's only a finite amount of time. And I need to be prioritising the creative work that I want to get done, because that is a career goal of mine as well as a creative goal of mine. I would love to write and make and create as a career. And so I have to take it seriously because I really do want to prioritise making this year and making this year great. I think last year was so hard to turn my hand to anything creative because I was so sad. This year, I need to change the energy and I need to feel like I'm achieving something, because I'm a millennial and we've all been trained that we're not good people unless we're actually achieving something. But also just because these are things I really want to do with my life. What are the main takeaways from this part of the video? Knowing what you want to achieve for the year and then breaking it down into smaller chunks across the months is super helpful. And then being able to prioritise my life around periods of making, but not necessarily specify exactly what that making is so that I don't feel hemmed in by it, is currently a plan that I'm really happy with and motivated by. I think that's the thing that I'm trying to get to as a creative person. When I put some structure in, it can't feel like shackles. It has to feel like something that's like, okay, I've got in the diary that it's a whole day of making today. It's exciting. It's going to be a fun year, I think. One other way I want to make achieving my goals this year just that little bit more accessible and fun is by adding that element of positive reinforcement and fun into it. And I found this woman on TikTok, I can't remember her name, but she has a company called Silly Little Star Charts. And she has made a 2026 bingo card. I know we're halfway through January already and I haven't started filling it out. It's because it's so beautiful and I'm still figuring out what some of my goals are. You get 24 spaces to be able to write in different goals that you want to achieve in the year. It gives you an overall why, and it gives you a space to write a prize in for what you're going to do when you complete your star chart. It also gives you both gold and silver stars. I'm a gold gal. Part of what I'm going to do, and will maybe spend some time during this week doing, because I'm a little clearer on some of them, is writing out my silly little goals on my silly little star chart. She also, by the way, includes it with a magnet in case you want to like stick it to a fridge or something. My flatmate doesn't need to see these. And then when you complete the whole star chart at the end of the year, you get a sticker. The sticker says, I completed my silly little bingo card, and all I got was a silly little sticker. Obviously, some of the goals are big, fat personal goals. Then some of them are more creative, whimsical. Go to the theatre once a month. I live in London. It's one of the best cities in the world for theatre and culture. And I did this a few years ago and I loved it. And tickets don't have to be that expensive if you buy them at the right time. Do more singing. To journal again. I've already started doing that. To consume a book once a month. I say consume because I am within the camp that an audiobook is just as valid as reading a physical book. To have written and recorded and released this digi-series that I'm working on. To exercise more regularly. And actually, I bought another habit tracker of hers, which is for silly little workouts. So you'll start to see them up on here once I've filled them in and started to complete them. To find my person, that's a big goal on the list this year. Take more walks. To have more animals in my life more regularly. To cook a new thing once a month. It's that kind of stuff. And some of them need to be ones that I can tick off earlier on in the year. They need to be more short-term goals so that I actually feel like I'm achieving them. But yeah, I'm going to fill in my silly little bingo card and have fun, giving myself gold stars and feeling really good about it. That was what I'm doing to help myself create more this year. It is the year of making for me. I would love to know in the comments if you are a creative person, if you have any great hints and tips of how you organise your time, things that you love doing, things that you hate doing. Like, I was so surprised by how hemmed in I felt when I started really trying to plan my time in a granular sense. Unusual, because that's what I do normally in the day job. And I hope that that was helpful in some way, shape or form. And if it was, again, please leave me a comment or feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because there will be more stuff about making and creating. I gotta go to the print shop, pick up my D&D printouts and then get this edited. So have a wonderful week and I will see you again soon. Bye. Coffee whilst it's still warm. It's not that warm anymore. That's sad.